Hey guys, it's Rachel. I know it's not a Thursday, and I did say the other week that my videos might be a little bit unpredictable, and is it Saturday today? And obviously we have had Christmas, and I know it's been difficult for some of the other girls to get videos up as well, and today I've actually got some time, well this evening, to be able to make something and to be able to tie up the rota that I started kind of midway through. I know that there's going to be a new rota starting on Monday if possible. I think it's Sarah who's going to be putting it together. And today I just wanted to take the time to be able to make a video and hopefully update my blog as well so I can share with you some pictures. I hope you've all had an amazing Christmas, and for those of you who've either been alone or struggled through it, that you've come out the other end of it and survived somehow. I know how difficult it can be to get through Christmas, and now that there's going to be the focus on the new year, for me it was pretty quiet, which is kind of bizarre because I was thinking about when I was poorly and how chaotic the house used to be and full of people and full of food and how difficult that used to be. And now that I'm well, everything is much quieter, and I guess my parents are expecting grandchildren to be here, which there aren't any, neither me or my brother. So it was quite quiet, but yesterday was really nice because my godchildren came round with their parents, and that was like Christmas Day because it was like a full house and plenty of food and lots of trifle eaten and lots of drinking and playing games and dancing and just generally being silly. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And what Ariel wanted us to discuss was talking about being in touch with your inner child and communicating with your inner child and living your inner child. As some of you know, I've just got back from New York, and I didn't live like an adult when I was out there. Me and Tracy, who is also part of the team, just ran around like children, literally like children, and we took pictures and we went to children's bookstores and we played on in FO Schwartz, the the big piano where you can just skid up and down and it makes colours and plays music. We did that, and we just went into toy stores and we bought presents and we went to Christmas markets, and we really just lived a week without even knowing what was going on in the world really, and without engaging in anything negative, and just purely focusing on having some fun. And I think that that's something that's lacking for many people, that fun element, that not caring what age you are, but to still have fun. I mean, it was my godson's 18th birthday last week, and I got so drunk, it's just not even hilarious. I mean, like, I've not been that drunk since I was probably a teenager. And things went on, and, you know, I've kind of thought about it and been mortified. But then I thought, you know, everyone's entitled to have that time to actually just not give a fuck. And I hope that's not offended anybody saying that, but that's what it was about. And it was about playing, and it was about fun, and it was about just letting your head down and just like being crazy, just like running about like crazy. And that's basically what we did in New York, but without the alcohol. And it was getting up and it was doing that stuff. I've got a pile of children's, sorry, it's my SD card. I've got a pile of children's books in there, like pop-up books which has been signed by the authors. I've got the Snow Queen. I've got just books that I know I can keep, and although I'm not a child, although those books are written for children, there's something in them, there's a message in them which engages me, which is my connection to books as a young child. And that's something that has always been with me and is partly almost all of why I write now, is that even a children's book can teach us a lesson. There's a story behind it. And if you are having a difficult time, when I used to really struggle, I used to read The Velveteen Rabbit, and I used to read The Tiger Who Came to Tea. And that might just sound crazy, okay? I didn't necessarily have stickers of Pooh Bear or anything like that, but I did have those books which were from my childhood that were my favourite books. And my mum's still got my book of fairy tales. And there's some sort of innocence in that. And when we were in the bookstore in New York, there was something to learn from the almost complex simplicity of children's books, because there is always a deeper message, and yet there's something so basic and innocent about it. And that's what connecting with your inner child is. You've got the complexities of and the stress and the pressure of everyday life, of your disorder, of what's going on around you, of the world as a whole, you know, what's going on around the world. I don't even watch the news because it just depresses me. I'm not even going to lie about that. But the bigger picture, and then you've got your sort of family, and then you've kind of got yourself, and then you've got your inner demons. And we all need a respite from that. We all need an opportunity to be able to let go of that. And so when the kids came around yesterday, it was about engaging them in some of those things. I always let them have my camera. I always let them take the pictures if that's what they want to do. We played Jenga, we played cards, we played Number Rumba, which half of you probably never heard about. And we had fun. And that wasn't just me with the kids, that was including like their mum, Connor, whatever. And that playful side is so healing. And yesterday went so quickly. And I just didn't want it to end because I was just having so much fun. I was just happy. I was just living in the moment, and I was just content. And seeing other people happy makes me happy. And I appreciate that not all of you are in that place whereby you can socialise to that extent. And so I understand if that feels impossible to you. But what I would like you to try to do is have that element of play, even if you go out and do something on your own, that you have that element of doing something that is very comforting, and having a dialogue with yourself about what's comforting about that. I still go on the swings, I go down slides, I still do all of that, and I'm not going to judge myself for being 32 and still doing that, because I have fun. And who cares? I don't care. I can go and I can play, and I am incredibly playful. And of course there's a maturity there with everything else that goes on in life, but there's still that side. What I think maybe you have to be careful with contacting that inner child, as it were, is staying as a child. I see that happen to a lot of people, especially people with eating disorders, who, with regards to their emotional processing, regress back to, from experience, from what I have seen, this isn't a fact, it's just from what I have seen, that often regress back to, say, they're in their 20s, back to, say, a 14-year-old, which is when something quite traumatic maybe happened to them. And there's been this block at that point. You can't see me using my hands, can you, as I always do. There's been like a block at that point. And the way they process what's going on around them, and the things that they crave, are the things that they craved at that age. And I've been through that because I've done my trauma therapy. But I think there are some people, not everybody, who crave that, who crave reliving that. I'm an example of that. I know that I have a lot of younger friends. I've got older friends also, but a lot of younger friends as well, because I never went through that period in my 20s of, you know, I never got to go away to university and do all of that crazy stuff and like just let go and just not take responsibility for things. I never had that. And so a lot of this year has been allowing myself to have that. It's been allowing myself to not being committed to anything, to a relationship, to work, to study. And my commitment's been to my writing. That's all about me. That's about myself. And so that's given me what I maybe would have had at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, which I didn't have. And slowly moving that forward, allowing that to move forward and sort of say, well, come on, you know, now it's time to really kind of, you know, take hold of something to grasp this. And that's what I did with my writing. I made a choice. My nose looks really shiny, sorry. I made a choice to let that be my focus, for that to be why I get out of bed every day, for that to be how I set myself deadlines. And well, I don't really set deadlines, but have an idea of where I want to move with something. And that's what the new year is going to be about. But not for 1 second do I think that you should have your life completely planned out, because that rigid structure, which again is very common within eating disorders, is going to stop you enjoying anything. And the advice I give to people, say an example is going to be, and I hope she doesn't mind, is going round to, say, your boyfriend's house, you're going to meet the family, have dinner and stay over. That can create so much anxiety, because you've got the social aspect, you've got the food, you've got the unexpected, you've got being alone with somebody, staying overnight. There's no way of you being able to plan exactly what happens, because you're not going to be in control of that. And so my advice from that is to just say, right, okay, think about what your limits are with each of those scenarios. You know, what are your limits with regards to the food you can eat? What are your limits with regards to how long you can spend with the family? What are your limits with regards to how long you can spend with your boyfriend? Do what feels safe, because the anxiety building up to that is going to ruin the experience. Because I reckon 9 times out of 10, once you actually get there, you cope with the experience. And if you don't, you don't, and there's nothing you can do about that. You can't be in control completely while you're struggling. There's only so much you can do, and as long as you've tried to do that, that's the best you can do. And that's about enjoyment, and that to me is connected to your inner child. That's about letting yourself just go a little bit and just think, do you know what, I just want to go and enjoy myself. And that's what kids do, isn't it? You know, everything's about a play, everything's about running around, everything's about, you know, creating a game, creating dialogues with people, playing dress up, doing all of that, to allow yourself to say, right, do you know what, for that night I'm going to try my best not to worry about absolutely everything. I'm going to let myself be free. I'm going to let myself be like that child that doesn't have to worry about those things. So that's my understanding of it. And I mean, I haven't done any therapy or any work like some of the girls have on the channel to do with inner child. I've just kind of given my understanding of it and how personally I've approached some of those things. And the best present I've given myself over this past month is letting myself be a kid, letting myself just dance to stupid music, and just we've played so much. I've been around other kids and we've just played, we've just danced and laughed and watched stupid movies. And I think you have to allow yourself that. And even if you're doing that on your own, let yourself be that, let yourself do that, let yourself let go, and just give yourself a break. And that's my best advice. Just give yourself a fucking break. You don't have to be perfect all the time. You are allowed to just let go, and take that into the new year with you, and just try to go gentle on yourself and stop judging yourself. And take an example from, maybe if there's kids around you, let their laughter make you laugh, let their giggles make you giggle, let their hugs make you give hugs, let their love make you allow you to love, and enjoy yourself, okay? And just try and take care of yourself this next week. And will it be the new year when I speak to you? It probably will be. So blessings for Christmas and into the new year. Love you guys. Okay, bye.